is be a single mother, 40 hours a week. I lost one by one, by one, by two, by three. By 1 year later, almost, of the event of January 27th, my friend had hired, now slowly people are finding out. I hire a lawyer, my friend paid for it. And some friends were supporting me, because if you're wondering where I got some money, friends were starting to pour in. Hire a lawyer, Daniel and Sarah. Very hard to find somebody. And he did some work a little bit cheap. And I'm starting to fight the system, which they hate. And because it didn't make sense. The judge is like, you're looking at me like I'm from outer space. I'm like, you are. You let me go teach tennis in the Hamptons, and now I can't teach tennis. Well, they throw me in jail January for 12 days for not having a full-time job, not going to, not being in her office at the same time as being at my full-time job, and not taking the MMP2 test when I took the guy wasn't available. It was Christmas time. He violated for me for 3 ridiculous reasons, like 2 hours short of a full-time job when I'm trying to sell my house up in Anthem. And what about my daughter? Talk about child abuse from the system. This poor little girl swaying on the swing set at Paradise. She had to swing alone because she didn't have one single friend. And she had to wait for Mommy, wondering if she was going to get off the bus and Mommy was going to be in jail or not in jail. And that judge tossed me in jail for 12 days. It was 0 degrees and in a tent city in the middle of a desert. One little thin blanket. I was dehydrated, 100 pounds, no water, slop for food, mice, cockroaches, pigeon poop, holes in the tent, blowhorns, no sleep. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, one of the worst human beings alive in the world, third world country. He would put the showers on freezing cold temperatures. He would put the air conditioner on in the day room. So it's not only freezing cold outside, it's freezing cold inside in the showers. The girls are coughing, hacking of Hanatavirus virus. It's spreading like wildfire. There's no medical attention. People die in there. More people die than you even thought. You do the crime, you do the time. Most of them are probation violations. Like me, I couldn't be at 3 places at the same time. And that's just one of my probation violations. I never came out of there the same. The strip searches. There was 35 girls in the shower, drop, cough, squat, and pee by the DOs, correctional officers, detention officers. Talk about sick people, the ones that work for Sheriff Joe Arpaio. They're on their period. They don't care. The power that they have, these women correctional officers. And there's men watching, the women correctional officers, just watching these women cry. And if they don't do it correctly, they go to the hole. The hole is a room about the size of the bathroom, a little bit bigger, with 4 women in there in one bathroom. They have to go to the hole for 1 month because they were afraid to drop, cough, squat, and pee when they're on their period. They had no way to get any drugs or anything like that. They just went to their laundry job. It was the most degrading thing I've ever seen in my life. They're just crying, and some of these girls were in there for a false imprisonment, waiting trial. They hadn't seen a judge yet. One, a false identity, a story of a 21-year-old, someone had stolen her purse. She'll never be the same. These are people, their lives, they're shattered. Some people are guilty. Some people might have grown up on the wrong side of the tracks. But who deserves? Maybe a Jeffrey Dahmer. There we go. Jeffrey Dahmer deserves to be treated like Sheriff Joe. Sheriff Joe Arpaio deserves to be treated the way that he's treated these women. Or men. I never went on the men's side. That guy deserves this treatment. But I don't think some of these people that maybe, like a gene of people that need to be addressed, I don't think it's fair. I had a second probation violation, my trip to Florida. What got me out in 8 days versus 30, because it was left on my answer machine. Answer machines are admissible in court. So those 8 days were hot. It was very, very hot in May. So I got to witness the heat. So I did the very cold, the very hot. By the time I got out, I realized I couldn't handle being a single mother, and I wasn't selfish. And I decided to have my daughter go back to Michigan so I could finish my stint of probation. And my sister back here in Michigan took my beautiful daughter, Jess. They never took my daughter away. The system never took my daughter away from me. So, I mean, the rest of the story is what we're here and the reason why I'm fighting. I did finally stay and fight and fight and fight, kept memo after memo, got a new judge. I got off my probation. I still had to fight to get exonerated, expunged, and I'm here today to try to completely, it looks like I did my 3 years probation. I went to all these classes. I admitted that I was a child abuser. Total lie is what Jamie Nolan said. Nobody will ever see this plea of guilty. It's like traffic school, like you go to State Farm, and no one does see that you went to a traffic school. They don't see that speeding ticket you got. She explained this completely wrong. It looks like I was a child abuser. Now I went to these classes. Now I'm a reformed child abuser, everybody. That is not true. I need this completely off my record, and that's why I want to do this movie, to explain to the world. These public defenders, they lie. They do not tell the truth. How they take their jobs, how the prosecutors, Terry Clark, how Michael McVeigh can get up on that bench knowing my daughter, Trish O'Connor, Deb Jones of the world, and Deputy Anthony Rogers. What do they get out of their measly checks? You know, if I was a child abuser, if I beat my kid, or I knew that one of my boyfriends was physically harmful to my kid, which that never happened, I taught tennis. I never report. My students, it was like I was magic. I taught tennis to camps, and they knew it. How this could tear apart and affect so many lives, and still affects me today, and who wouldn't have touched, somebody mentally after being in Churchill's war of prison, come out normal, and it affects my daughter. How could she walk out of this unharmed? She's doing well in school, but it affects so many people in how they think it doesn't, and that's what I'd like to tell the world. Thanks.